can't. It's so like dirty. It's not even funny. It's such a fucking racket.
It's a thing.
More than a thing, it's a racket.
Like a tennis racket?
No,
We are
like
live.
a racket, like a mobster racket.
We are live. Chris is gone. Evan's missing in action.
Like
No,
a mobster racket.
I got
Can you hear
beer.
me?
I
I
got
can hear you.
beer. Tonight's going to be a shit show of a shit show. We're going to be motherfucking burning and roasting half the planet. So I am opening an Abyss, a 2017 reserve. Imperial Stout brewed with the black strap molasses, licorice, dry spice with cherry bark and vanilla bean. 50% aged in bourbon, wine, and New Orleans oak barrels.
Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Happy St. Patty's.
Go.
Do the English like the Irish or no?
Do you want me to knife you now or later?
You can knife me now. I mean, let's get it over with.
Let's just say that we have our differences.
Whenever somebody does say that to you, by the way, knife me now or knife me later, it's always now.
Oh, I need to show you the cup. Did I show you the cup? I actually got 5 of them. I've given them out to people. This is the new cup. It says, for those of you that are listening that aren't doing this on video, if I am drinking out of this mug, don't even think of talking to me. It's too early and I will cut you.
Nice. I like it.
Was going to say, oh, you
I've
got your gifty things, didn't you? You got your
Oh, dude, yes. Thank you so much. So I tested that flashlight you gave me for safety purposes. Oh, shit.
Stuff.
I couldn't see for like 10 minutes.
It's a good one, isn't it? Those have got some serious power to them.
Yeah, it's totally awesome, man. Thank you so much. And then that shark fin, I'll send you a picture. I'm gonna strap that to my my scuba gear in a couple of weeks.
Well, somewhere down in Mexico, there's 2 more of them waiting for you. God's only knows where they are, though.
That's funny.
Oh, I love it. Ryan, I'll send you a flashlight thing. I was going to say a flashlight.
Yeah, please don't. No.
I'll send you.
Where's this show going, guys?
In a better fucking place than apparently the new NIST regulations have gone. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, fuck me.
Happy times first. Happy times
where
first.
the
That was
NIST
the deal.
regulations are doing at the moment. Yeah.
Happy times
Well,
first. That was our deal.
And you know
What was our deal?
Okay.
Oh, we want positivity.
Okay, but I just gotta say this. You know, the sad thing is the people in this industry who don't have the wisdom, which a lot don't, right? I mean, we are a dying breed, us, and they look at that thinking, "Oh my God, this is awesome! I'm gonna go get me some of this and some of that."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh my shit! There goes the Kool-Aid."
No shit. Okay.
Well, the sad thing is too, Ryan, I mean, we have to play nice with these people because these people are the influencers in our industry, right? They have the power.
That they do. And, you know, there can be alternatives as long as those alternatives are equal to or superior to the recommendations, and recommendations can be challenged.
When you talk about the power grab and like, you know, in society, we talk about, you know, privilege, right? White privilege and, you know, not taking advantage of the underprivileged and all that. Whereas our industry is so good at doing the exact opposite of that. It's all about the privilege. It's all about, you know, screw the little guy. You know, it's insane.
Yeah, I was, you know, well, and it isn't just the we'll get into it later. Happy times first.
Happy time.
Happy times first. We need to celebrate the good work of our fellow brethren who are fighting the good fight and providing enhanced cyber capability to the Ukrainians. If nothing else, let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate our brethren. And Drill Sergeant Evan.
Look at that.
Oh, okay. For a second, that looked like a drill hat.
I'm gonna wear this down in Mexico when I go in. What day is it now? Thursday?
Yes.
Yes.
9 days.
Oh, nice. So yeah, Ukraine's it's Still busy.
Did you see that they leaked the reactor tech that Russia had? And they took credit. The Ukrainian military took credit, and it's the first cyber op of that nature where they didn't use a third, fourth, and fifth hand.
They nailed another general too by triangulating where he made his unsecure phone call from.
Get him.
I'm happy about that, but I'm also pissed about that because that's not the first time we've been using that technique. So I'm like, shut the fuck up. By the way, look at that. Isn't that a thing of fucking beauty? It absorbs light. This is exactly how beer should be. Black as the darkest night and as my heart, and hopefully just as tasty.
No.
Ooh.
I can't, the heavy beers just I can't do it. It's like,
we're Americans, we're lightweights. We don't do that shit.
Well, this is bloody American beer.
if that came out of the barrel, I'd think it'd gone bad. What color was it when it went in? Not black.
Not black, but man, it sucked the life out of the wood. It's exactly how it should be. That is good.
Ryan, have you
Okay.
tried some of that extra añejo down in Mexico?
I have,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll be bringing a bottle back with me when I come. I have a friend that's really big on the good
Oh.
tequila. So
Remind me to get a bottle for this guy.
Oh, thank you.
yes. Yep. When I'm down there again, we'll get them.
Well, I'll be down there in 2 weeks. I just need a reminder. Somebody just drop me a text. Hey, get Chris an extra añejo.
Thank you.
It's-
I will not say no. I love a good. I'm actually, the Blanco and stuff is great for chucking into drinks, but a decent glass of extra añejo goes down really, really well.
It's
Well,
really good. Really.
Well, and this is a local distillery in Miss Maloya, like 4th generation, I think. And they distill it right there on site. And this stuff is so special to them. Because in Mexico, tequila's like sacred. There's a spiritual piece to
Mhm.
it, and a cultural piece that we don't understand often in America, but they don't even put it out on the shelf. It's you got to know that they have it and ask for it.
The other one, it's a very, very acquired taste. And to me, it's actually more regional and there's more variations to it, is mezcal.
They got
and,
mezcal too. Yeah.
it's definitely an acquired taste. No two ways about it. It's but there's some amazing ones that make it north of the border. And so typically that normally means there's some amazing ones that they're holding on to their own. And some of those are, the village to village variants of how they prepare, how they do the maturation, all the other stuff. It's just, I love it. It's totally fantastic.
Yeah,
As
mezcal
man-
got that medicine taste. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. On terrible as it might sound, some of it tastes like burnt plastic until you're like, okay, now you get past that. Good gods, this basically tastes what burnt plastic smells like.
Right.
And once you get past it, just did it. I've got a couple of bottles like that. Is Bozell does a couple. One of them is like a vegetable roasted one, and one of them is they roast chicken carcasses over and all sorts of other interesting stuff. Yeah, so I have got a fond spot for mezcals there, but they're definitely to be approached with caution at times. Unlike this, which is to be bathed in. If I could actually get this by the bathtub full, I would sit in it with a fucking straw, especially at the moment. Thank you very much. NIST sponsored by motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, back when I was drinking, that was my drink of choice, was tequila and mezcal.
Right. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I had I can almost taste it now when you talk about it.
Mhm.
It was such an acquired taste. I loved it.
Very it's definitely, to your point, the tequilas, especially the extra añejos, remind me a ton of like some of the almost like some of the rums in just the complexities and the amazing stuff that's in them.
Mm-hmm.
And like bourbons and rums and whiskeys where there's just this lengthy maturation process.
Mm-hmm.
and you just pull out just the caramels that get pulled out, the taste of the woods and everything else that gets pulled. It's freaking amazing. But the mezcals are like literally, it's like somebody just walked up to you and just went schmack.
Yep. Yeah, that extra añejo is, I've never drank this one obviously because I didn't even find it until after I quit drinking. But that stuff is so smooth that you can you can drink it like you drink water. You know what I mean? You're like, just enjoy it. But mezcal has always been like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but again, if you can get past that initial, what the hell just assaulted my taste buds, you suddenly go like, holy shit. I mean, the smokies, the oily smokies that come off it, and then you got some of the other secondary flavors and stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, but you've got to get past that first.
Yeah,
bit.
you always feel it here first.
Yeah.
Right there, right on the right in the behind the jaw. It's like, okay.
Yeah. The hell just happened? What the hell did you just feed me? Unlike, I was talking to a good friend about this when I was disappearing off elsewhere last week. And we sat down with a bottle of Arak, which is it's Turkish, and gives you an indication of the general areas I was floating around in. And the last time, not this time, but the last time we had that stuff goes down so smoothly because you mix half Arak and then half like distilled water, and you're just drinking it, and then you're still perfectly civilized and conversation's great and everything else. And you try to get up and the legs are like, you ain't working. Your ass is sitting here for a couple of hours, little buddy boy. It's fantastic stuff. Just absolutely fantastic stuff.
That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
So last week, I think, people that watch the shit show, what you witnessed from me was, the edge of burnout. I mean, we've all been, not all, but I've been here many times before. And when you get to that point, like after the shit show, I probably sat around for like an hour and a half, just like, what the fuck is going on? And then, I texted Brian, I finally replied to you. And then all day Friday was mental. I don't know if you've ever been here before, but just complete mental paralyzed. I could not, I was like, no matter how bad I want to do something today, I can't. The brain ain't going. And then, the way I usually process that is, take some quiet time and try to figure out the focus, try to reprioritize, all these things that are going on. What things am I just going to let go? I'm not going to do it anymore. And you were there. I mean, Chris, you were there, but just a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I think we teeter on this edge of burnout. Many of us teeter here our entire career. And I don't know how safe it is or not. I mean, I've been in this career now for almost 30 years, so it must not be totally unhealthy because I'm still here. But, bringing it back to, the topic for tonight. I mean, the topic for tonight is what makes us great. And there's two things that I wanted to talk about. One is we are great. We bitch about each other. We bitch about things. We bitch about this and that and everything else. But at the end of the day, you take a step back, you think about it. We're great. We're great people, and we can always pick exceptions. That's actually one of the things that makes us great is we're so skeptical. I think we don't just take people's word for things often. So when I say we're great, I know what many of us are thinking, well, what about this? And what about that? And that's that critical thinking that actually makes you great. So what you're doing right there is great. But then the other thing is, I think what makes us really great when we are great, it's just like a, professional sports, like a football player. If anybody ever played professional sports, you've been through the hell of practice over and over and over again. And the things that you would practice over and over and over again were the fundamentals, were the basics. They weren't, running this exquisite, like whatever fucked up route you're running. It was learn how to run, learn how to make cuts, learn how, it was always the basics, and you got so fucking tired of it. But then when it came to game time, when it came time to perform, you were the best because you went through the practice, you went through the basics, you didn't take the shortcuts. And I think today, the way the world works, there's so many distractions. You're off doing this, doing that, and then you forget about these basics, these fundamentals that really will make you great. The fundamentals never change. The basics never change, just like in football, just like in soccer, just like in rugby, just like in any other sport. The basics are still the basics. So I think there's two things we can talk about tonight. One is how great we really are and how grateful we should be for each other and for what we do every day. And the other thing is, how do we become great? Well, you focus on that shit. The basics, the fundamentals, over and over and over again. I don't care how fucking boring it is, how much you dread it. That's what makes you great. So keep doing it. So that's my open, and we can go wherever we want, and then we can bitch the fuck out of NIST again.
I figured that would get the lion's share of the talk time tonight, since it is.
No, recruitment, motherfucking recruiters, and recruitment. Actually, not recruitment.
Let me tell you what they're going to be looking for tomorrow. Let me tell you what the recruiters will be looking for tomorrow. Do you have any experience in carbon black?
Fucking old. Yeah.
Fuck you, Ryan.
Sorry. It's not me. It's not my fault.
This is how we ended the last fucking show when I said you're not helping.
But because I'm making observations of
I can make, okay, that's what Marlis does. My wife does that. She goes, I say, I go, you have to quit complaining. And she goes, but it's the truth. I go, yes, it can be the truth and complaining.
But I'm not complaining.
No, but it's the same kind of analogy. Like, well, I'm just telling you the truth, even though it's.
And is it bullshit? Yeah, it is bullshit.
We could do 10 shows on how bullshit this is. It's unbelievably fucking bullshit. And I'm pissed as fuck about it.
And that's what makes you great.
My blood pressure's going. Fuck, where's my pulse? Oh shit, it stopped. Fuck, I'm dead.
I promise I am not out to kill Evan or Chris. None of this is my fault.
Oh, you won't kill me. I mean, seriously, I'm pissed. I'm just going to go set fire to the establishment. I have a different way of doing it. I get annoyed and then I go quiet.
Kill others.
I go quiet and then I just go burn the place down. I just go set fire to somebody.
But this is what makes you great. And this is what makes me great. And this is what makes Ryan great. What makes us great is, one, we recognize how much of a fucked up thing this is and how much of a racket it is, because we've been around long enough, we've lived long enough. And second, the reason why we're pissed isn't because somebody else is getting theirs. The reason why we're pissed is because people are getting taken advantage of, and we hate that. We love protecting people. That's the whole reason we're here. I'm not here for money. I'm not here for my health. I mean, look at me. I'm fat as fucking, come on. I mean, I'm not here for this. I'm here because I love people.
It's goes back to the fundamentals. How the hell do we effectively protect people? How do we do it? And it's and I hate to say it. Well, you know what? Let's get back on track. We will have the conversation about that, and then we're going to talk about recruiters as well. The recruitment process. Because no, my bloody luck, probably have the 4 companies that are front of the running at the moment, and I'll probably name names here because, well, it's here and they probably won't be listening. But if they are bloody listening, then they can understand why I'm so fucking pissed at the moment. But first, let's just have a conversation about greatness, or whatever the hell it is.
So I think it's great, and one of the things that I see that is great about folks in our industry that are in it for the right reasons is there's a big movement now to start to teach, to impart knowledge, to, a lot of the things that we talked about early on in the show as motivations for why we were doing the show. I'm now seeing a lot more activity around that, a lot more of taking on and mentoring and doing these things and investing in others. And I think that's great. I think, that people that do that, that's part of what makes them great.
No, I agree, man. I think there's, again, the security skeptical guy in me we have to set in our industry, we have to set a track record of trust with the people we serve. And we've been missing that, because even when you give away something for free, people are always thinking, well, what's the catch? Or they're thinking, well, if it's free, it must not be worth it. You know, because we went through the same thing with the CISP mentor program. You know, we started this thing in 2010. We had 6 students, and it took us this long, actually last year, you know, for 6,500 students, and this year maybe over 10,000. But why, if it truly was free, and people truly believed it was free and there was no strings attached, we would have had 10,000 in the second year.
Right.
But, you know, and so going back to the goodness and the greatness about us, there are people like us, and we should actually maybe go do that after this, you know, create a list of the people that are doing good in our industry, the people that we should follow, the people that we should, you know, look to for guidance, that are willing to impart wisdom without wanting something in return. Because there are many of those people. And I think even the people that don't come off as great or aren't great, they don't even realize they're not great. They just kind of feel like this is the way the tide goes. I just go with the tide. Who am I? I'm not powerful enough to stand up against it. I just do what I do.
Or they don't have the ability to do some introspective thinking. I was at dinner last night. And, you know, on one hand, there was some good conversations, but on the other hand, it raised quite a lot of questions. And it was, you know, an organization I'm kind of half interested in for a bunch of reasons, but I came away from it a lot less impressed than unfortunately I felt I wanted to be. And part of that was just some of the people. You know, when they're sitting there going, hey, what do you think we can do? And I'm giving them, literally handing on a silver fucking platter, some ideas and some answers and some thoughts. And what I get back is a set of arguments as to, well, why the industry and why this? I'm like, I'm done. I know what you need to. And then some of the people are, you know, on one hand, it was not the most, it was not, and you know, I don't mean to be an arse about it, but it was not the most productive use of 4 hours or 5 hours of time last night. I actually caught up with a couple of good folks in our industry who were there as well, so that was good and productive. But the organization that was hosting it did not cast itself in, shall we say, the best of lights, and that's frustrating because I know they can do better, and it sucks because again they fell into that trap of, we're just going to do the same as everybody else because we have to get more market share.
Right. Well, yeah. And I wonder how many people, like, you know, because it's risky, you know, because I've been through it myself, and I think maybe you guys have too, where if I was in this I might be in this for the right reasons, or at least, you know, I know that it's in me, but it's risky. Right. Because I always say that the saying I always say is, you know, if you focus on the mission, you'll make money. But if you focus on the money, you won't make the mission. So if I need money, well, I kind of have to focus on the money. Right. And at some point, or maybe you just find yourself there. Right. I'm in it for the money. And then you're like, but, you know, fuck, I'm not fulfilled. Money doesn't fucking make me, you know, doesn't satisfy me. I want to do it for the mission. Well, if you want to kind of like play that game, it's risky, because you have to trust that it's actually going to be true, that if I do focus on the mission, will I actually make money, or will I get my ass kicked?
I just got asked, I was given a talk, I got asked, okay, Ryan, you do all this altruism, security studio, you know, you guys are just in it for this mission thing, you know, A, how do you make any money? And B, you know, do you believe that you can effectively compete, you know, with in the commercial market? And my response was yes. And they said, let me answer the first question. How do I make money? By building a superior product that actually solves your problem and does what it says it's going to do. Mm-hmm. And I hope that through focusing on the mission and giving these other helpful things and not nickel diming you to death, and by actually solving your problem, you want to be a customer of mine and purchase a product at a fair price for a lot of value. And if enough people do that, then yes, competition is easy.
I agree, man. And focus on, see what we see you can always tell an organization who's focused on a mission versus an organization who's focused on money. Because an organization who's focused on money continues to add new features at a rapid rate, right? Because they're trying to build a product or a service that will solve every problem, right? Because we want to cast such a wide net that we get everybody. As opposed to, I think, a company that's focused more on mission, they're focused on doing one thing and one thing excellent. And then we'll move on to another thing until they've really nailed that first thing, right? Because they're focused on solving the problem, and I haven't solved the problem yet. So I'm still trying to focus, get this fucking problem solved, and then we'll move on to another problem. So if you look at we're definitely mission focused, right? So if you look at the core to what we're still working on is getting us to speak the same language, right? So we have an assessment, but the assessment isn't, the assessment is just a means to an end, right? To look at S2 vendor risk management, that's also just a means to an end, right? Because it gets vendors and the organization speaking the same language, right? And it's just on and on. Yeah, man,
that's what it's all about.
Right
there, right?
Yeah.
I mean that, and you're right. And it is that focus. It is staying on point to get us there, right? And what do? We add more. We add more frameworks, more.
Oh fuck, man! Come on, I was designing today.
Keep it
morning,
positive.
Wait, positive. Sorry, wait. So the upshot of more frameworks.
Let me bring this back. So this morning I was asked by Carolina Cyber Center, Adam Bricker, shout out, man, talk about good people. Oh my God. Right. If you want to look to somebody who is great and practicing it, living it, believing it, Carolina Cyber Center, look them up. Adam Bricker, amazing. Right. So, we're doing Teach through him, right? That Teach program. And we were talking to one of the customers that they had done some work for, and they really want an Azure and Office 365 risk assessment done. And so we're talking, and I'm like, dude, every time we create one of these fucking assessments, Microsoft adds 10 more features, adds 5 more portals. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I can never figure out, you create a thing and then they're like, then you go to do the assessment, right? Because I've created this myself. Here's how you assess Azure security, right? And then 6 months later, you're like, all right, we got this fucking thing, we're ready to rock. You go into Azure and you're like, where the fuck is everything?
Right.
It's not here anymore. Where'd it go? Oh, you need another portal for that.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking another portal. That's an example, but yeah. I don't know, man. It's such a pain in the ass. But, going back, the good people can identify and stand up against the great people. And, we could create a huge list. Recognize the complexity is the worst enemy of security. Recognize the importance of fundamentals. Also appreciate the fringe things that are actually valuable, right? A pen test is awesome. A great pen test is awesome in context. If I can't put it into context with everything else that's going on, then it's just a waste of time, a waste of money.
I had this conversation a couple of nights ago. It'll actually go public at some point on the dark web stuff. Intelligence, great, splendid, but intelligence without context, absolutely fucking useless. If you're just going to tell me the next list of IP addresses that need, why do I care about it? What have you seen that relates to me? How are you helping me understand and potentially reduce risks? Because if you're not, and all you're doing is giving me the same fucking blank feed, it's no use to man nor beast.
You block them, you unblock them, you block. So what I've learned is if you just take all the IP space of AWS and Azure and then just rotate it, just flip and flop, you'll stop most stuff and you'll break most stuff. Win-win.
I
I
say
know I'm not
deny-
helping.
No, but you're right. I mean, it's like, yeah, we're going to block Russia's IP space. Y'all think that they're coming from Russia? Little buddies, you got problems. Like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's this thing called proxy that we've been using for like
Oh, my
30 years.
no shit. Tell me about it. And that's, yeah. Maybe that's, I think the difference is somebody who's just in it to do that will just do that. Somebody who's actually looking at some of the greatness is going to question that. Somebody's actually going to put their hand up and go, hey, this isn't right.
Right.
You know, and I think maybe that's the difference. To me, that whole sign of greatness is somebody who's able to look at the environment, look at the enterprise, and is willing to stand up and go, no, I'm not really in agreement. To me, that greatness is also somebody who's willing to stand up in a vendor presentation or in a meeting and go, hey, the last two sets of acronyms you used, what do they actually mean?
Dude, that reminds me so much of that Minnesota the fuck was it? Blue Ribbon Commission meeting where Accenture, and I'm not mentioning names, but Accenture
Love you.
you know,
Ah,
was preaching zero trust, and you know, in the CISO for the state of Minnesota, who is amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
Rohit Tandon asked, where do I start? If I was going to start with zero trust, where do I start? And the guy was like, and we'll just continue the presentation. I was like, what the fuck?
No, seriously.
Yeah. So I was the presentation after him. So I hurried up and added a slide to that. I hurried up and added a slide like the question that Accenture won't answer for you.
They'd be fighting words.
Hey, I mean, but like you said, man, I mean, you got to call it like it is, right? If it's truth, if it's truly truth, do you have the confidence in it to stand on it?
And this is so I got called this afternoon to a meeting, and and it's one of those frustrating meetings where it was a developer meeting, and it was developer, the client, and the lawyer for the client. And the lawyer and the client had been asking the third-party development team for accountability for the last 5-6 weeks. Apparently, they wanted accountability. They wanted to know what was going on. So the third-party organization's building something, rebuilding something, I should say. And I've been sitting on the fringes, kind of half helping out on security. And I've been asking some questions, and I've been told, hey, we're getting there. So getting there means that they've been chasing. Now, I am not saying that the caste system came into play, but I kind of am, because I'm looking at the third-party development company, and they are of a certain caste. And I know that they think down on other castes. And I'm looking at the lawyer, who is of a different origin, and I know what that particular country thinks of that origin. And I'm looking at the client, and the client, unfortunately, doesn't necessarily have the nous to ask the awkward questions. So they asked me to go to the organization, and I sat on this meeting, and I'm listening, and I'm like, okay, talk to me about your development process. Well, we have this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, show me. So he showed me the Azure cloud process. And I'm like, well, it's missing this assistant that you're telling me on iteration 11. What happened to the last 10? Show me this. Well, it's on WhatsApp. I'm like, you're running your development process on WhatsApp? And I got into it. And he's like, well, this is, I'm like, motherfucker. And I literally said, motherfucker, I'm not asking for a Rolls Royce. I'm asking that the fucking car going down the road has got 4 fucking tires on it, and I know it. I said, you can't even tell me what the hell the damn thing is, let alone if it's got fucking tires on it, let alone if the client's actually done what you wanted. Get your shit together. This is standard basic SDLC. They're not asking for the fucking roles. Give me the standard basic shit. And he paused everything because, and it's just pisses me off, because this is somebody taking advantage of others in our industry. And I just fucking annoyed about the whole thing. But because nobody called them on the carpet, because nobody dared say anything, because they were the ones that were in there and they were spouting awful words that unfortunately not everybody else understood, they were getting away with shit. It just fucking annoys me.
Well, dude, you know the whole point behind building the CVCISO program. The final straw was MIT. The final straw was when MIT was asked by one of the 29 tribal colleges, how do you do vCISO work? And MIT was like, well, we essentially pool, set aside a pool of hours that you can draw from to blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, really? This is what you fucking do? Yeah. And then the next one was basically the same. And then it came to FR Secure, and this is where I was like, because I wasn't supposed to talk, I was only supposed to be there to observe. But you should know better than to invite me to a meeting to just observe if you don't want me to talk. So then John Harmon, the president of FR Secure, was going to answer the question. I was like, oh, John, do you mind if I take this one? And he's like, no, go ahead. And I was like, we don't do it like that. And I'll tell you why we don't do it like that. We put all the risk on you when we do it like that, because I'm incented to take as many fucking hours as possible, to make profit. So when you ask me to do one thing, plus there's no strategic direction, how do you measure my performance? How do you know if I'm providing any fucking value to you? Because I'm only taking orders. You can give orders to anybody else. I mean, I'm supposed to be a fucking vCISO. So it went on, and then you could see, because the MIT people had their camera on, they're like, and so at the end, I said, look, I get it. This is just the way people have been doing it. I invite you to come and do it like we do and improve upon it. Make it ours. Don't make it yours. Don't make it mine. You know what I mean? And there's still such a tribal fucking approach to us in this industry, which I think ends up hurting the people that really can be great.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people, you see these new people come into the industry. Like I'm thinking of one right now who went to work for Mandiant, and my God, she's amazing. She's just amazing. She reached out because she heard the Unsecurity podcast. And so she reached out to me because she led at Penn State University. She led their, I don't know, some club. And she asked, if I would talk to her, their club. And I'm like, yeah, why not? So I talked to their club. She gave me a hat. She gave me a t-shirt. My daughter stole the fucking t-shirt. That's a whole But man, she has so much. I mean, when I was talking to her, it's like, you are going to be a fucking rock star in this industry. Absolutely. And then she went, she got her first job out of college and at Mandiant. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's now Google. Not Mandiant anymore. It's Google.
I know. And I'm like, yeah, well, hopefully, those core values that she has, she'll, everything will resonate. She'll be like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
You take the job you can get at that age, you really don't have the privilege that we do, I mean, I can choose where I want to work.
Yeah.
If there's somebody who, you want me to do something that ain't right, I ain't doing it. I don't need the money. I'll go somewhere else. But some people can't afford to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I look forward to the day. I'm following her career. I mean,
Good.
I'm what do you call that? Lurking? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that.
Lurking. If you're digital, it's lurking. If it's physical, it's stalking. And if you're too close, it's peeping Tom.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
neither of them are really positive, though. Unfortunately, you're flying wingman. I mean, you're flying wingman at the end of the day.
I'm doing a positive lurking.
Yes.
Wingman. You're wingman.
Yep. Because I think there's still the credibility there that, when the time is right, we can coach her into the right. Because I do think she's got an amazing skill set that, our industry can use.
Did you get hit up, Rachel? I think Rachel's on this evening. I remember I saw her yakking away. No, actually, she hasn't actually said hi. Oh, she has said hello, but not much. Rachel, I know.
Rachel, speak up. You're one of the great ones.
She hit me up. She might have hit you two up as well. There's a new one. There's a new one that she hit me up with on Twitter or LinkedIn or some bloody social media platform. She's got a new one. Apparently, she's taken under her wing. That's now working with John over at
Yeah, she hit me
Nation.
up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to have some fun with that one. But it sounds like we got another swamp digger.
Yeah,
So,
little too much pink on the profile there. I did notice.
Little glitter in the eye there.
It was definitely it was not a Rachel profile. It was definitely a different one. Yeah, we're gonna have to have some fun. I think she definitely needs to come under the wing. No two ways about it. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with her, definitely, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we do, right? I mean, we're trying to get people to come under the wing before they don't really realize where they're at. I do still think they're great. You know, I was talking, like my buddy who I love him. I really do. I've known him for a long time. He's, followed me. We've helped each other and whatever. When he went to work for, and I'm not going to mention names, but Arctic Wolf, it was really sad, because I wanted to say some things. I wanted to say some things when he went to do that. I was like, oh man, okay. But you're excited. You need the job, you need the money. I'm not going to shit on your parade, man, but I'll be here, Well then, but 9 months later, he kind of came to the realization, like, what the fuck? And then we had coffee and he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, man, I get it. But there's another example of just somebody who's great. Great isn't like what you accomplish. Great is like what you're here for. Who came to the realization that, you're working for the devil.
We need to come up with another name for Arctic Wolf so that we don't get yelled at by Arctic Wolf.
Would you guys stop? I mean, at a certain point, you're going to trip a filter.
Only one filter, or are we going for a couple of filters?
No, the YouTube.
No, well, that's fine, because we can have Arctic Wolf and fleshlights in the same sentence, and then we trip two filters. And if we have Arctic Wolf butt plugs and fleshlights in the same sentence, we maybe
and
get
penis enlargement. I could
and
use
what?
Sounds like a security guy's wish list.
Whatever it takes, man.
That is true. Yeah. So no, we could trip a few filters on this one. That'd be kind of fun. All right. So we just
we build the Alexa Laserbeam, program a Raspberry Pi, put the instructions up on the how-to wiki.
Well, here,
start making that the most popular product on Amazon.
And I'll qualify what I said. Arctic Wolf is awesome at what they're awesome at.
Yes.
Where they lost their way was trying to do things that you're not good at.
Snow Dog.
Stay focused on what?
Snow Dog.
Yeah, right. If you would have stayed focused on, what they started at, which was awesome. I still have tons of respect for a lot of people that work there, but you at some point between, I don't know, probably round B and round F of financing, you lost your way.
Frozen puppy. We got to figure it out. I was like an Antarctic guinea pig or something like that, but I'm not entirely certain where we go with this. We'll have to figure it out. I'm sure there's. I wonder, is there an anagram of Arctic Wolf? Hang on.
Let's just call them Frosty Tits.
Frosty Tips.
Frosty Tits.
Frosty Tits.
I like the first part, but we just might have invoked the fourth filter as well at this point.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, Frosty Aurelius.
I need an anagram. An anagram. There we go. Anagram solver. There we go.
Can you say Frosty Nips?
I don't take the
Not sure.
thing at you Muppets.
Frosty Dog.
No, I'm figuring it out. Hang on. I don't need an anagram. I need to. What the hell is it when you shuffle all the shit around? I don't need
Encryption.
Do what?
Encryption.
Oh, I thought I thought you know what I thought you said? An intervention.
I mean, technically that is an accurate response.
That's true.
That's it. That's going in the damn compendium. Encryption, shuffle shit around. You're right. I mean, you're not wrong.
Okay. That's what it is.
Diffusion.
Confusion. Yeah.
Chili pup. Oh, I like that one. Like not hot dog, but chili dog. Chili. Yeah, it's not Arctic wolf. It's chili dog or chili pup.
Chili dog.
Chili dog. Okay, Arctic wolf is now chili dog. It is anagram, but I can't find the right bloody thing to. All
We
right.
need to come up with a whole bunch of ones like
Oh,
this.
so,
Like,
well, I mean, one's easy.
what's one from Microsoft?
Micro hell or just blue screen or BSOD or something like. I mean,
You guys don't call it money shit?
no, I've never come across that one. That's not one I've
So
come.
instead of blue screen, it's like blue balls because they can't perform when you need them.
Ouch, but hard to
I
disagree.
mean, good
If
lord.
they fixed the
don't
Excel problem
worry.
from, what, 20 years, 30 years ago, we might actually have a bit more sympathy for them. Clown Strike is easy. I mean, we can just leave that as Clown Strike or Clown Miss, actually, more than anything.
This is going to be fun. See, this is what makes this great.
Recorded future could be an interesting. We almost need to go back to the not the CD era, but the tape decks. I mean, recorded future could be something.
There's actually some things that I find. I mean, I don't know their product.
We need
at
to
all,
do this. We need a synonym. There we go. That might be it.
but I do get a feed from them that I actually like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but it's like every company. Every company has something that they're great at. They just have a whole bunch of shit they suck at. And so if you're buying the shit that they suck at, right, that's the thing that got you to buy them because you didn't know any better. Well, then you got fucked. But if you buy the thing that they're really good at, like if I bought chili dog for a good MDR, it's a good MDR. That's it. Nothing more. I mean, if you bought it because, well, I would like my security, what the fuck do they call it? Concierge service. What the fuck is that? It doesn't even work. You know what I mean? You're getting a high school kid. Come on.
Yeah, there's two, again, over promise, under deliver, which if we go back on topic for a second, we go back to our, the athletes or the what makes you great, because you start off the conversation around, it was NFL, I think you used in the NFL All Pro. I mean, NFL All Pros, yeah, you're not born that way. You work your ass off to get that way. You do have to overperform and over deliver.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, man. And you focus on the fundamentals over and over and over again. I mean, and it does get boring. It's not sexy, right? You ask any football player, how sexy was practice?
Did it for hammer throwing. I mean, for hammer throwing, we would do turns. You do 100 meter of turns back and forwards. And it was one swing, one turn, one swing, one turn, 100 back and forth and back. A javelin, same thing. I mean, just, the 20 yards, the 10 yards, the 5 yards, until muscle memory and you're not thinking about it because, you got 4 turns in a bloody small circle. You can't think about it. It just has to happen.
Right. Well, a few people know about me is, I was a 2-time state champion swimmer. I swam, Division I in college. And what people don't, just to get there.
Yeah.
We had practice, every morning from 7 to 9 in the morning. Then you go to class and do whatever you do. A lot of times you'd fit in weights sometime around lunch, and then you'd swim again from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. And it was every single fucking day, 4 hours of practice. And we didn't have an off season like a lot of sports. And I was a distance swimmer, which made it even fucking worse because then it was anywhere between 10 to 12, maybe 13,000 yards per practice. So you're talking, 4, 5, 6 miles a day of swimming. And what you're working on is, sure, you're cardiovascular, but you're also working on technique. If your technique was off, the coach would pull you out of the fucking pool and like, what the fuck are you doing? Your elbow's not high enough, And it was just so drilled into you because when it came time to perform, when it came time, for Big Ten championships or whatever the fuck you were supposed to perform, you performed. You won.
And you had it harder because when I did track and field. And so, I was hammer, discus, javelin, and shot, hammer being the primary one. I had 3 tries. If I screwed up on my first try, or it went in the damn cage, or I stepped out of the front, or whatever it was, I had 2 more bites of that apple before it got, too bad. You're one and done.
Well, so you had 3 tries, but how many tries did you do in practice before you got to the point where it was the 3 tries? I mean, it had to been thousands.
Oh, thousands.
Right.
And then even doing those, there's always a technique. There's always a thing. You never go in and you always put a lot of effort in, but you don't go 100% on that first one just because you want to get a safe one in. That takes the mental anguish out of it. And then you got 2 other tries to just go balls to the wall.
Right.
And then that gets you into the final section, which is normally, top 8, top 12 or whatever. And then you get 3 more, at which point it's like you got bonus points. Because now you pull all the stops out.
Well, and so the same thing applies with anything in life. If take anything you've done, right? If you do it, the first time you do it, you suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless you just got lucky, right? Like, oh my God, I'm a natural and I got all the skill in the world. But most of us suck the first time we do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have a passion for it. So you devote your life to it, or you devote, some portion of life. And so you decide you want to be great at it. I want to be great at this thing. Well, if you want to be great at anything, you have to put the work in it, right? Take the greatest golfers who ever played golf. I was thinking of Tiger Woods there for a second, or Jack Nicklaus. How many times do you think they swing that golf club? Tens of thousands of times at the practice range before they get out there and actually play a game.
And I think the other thing is as well, and I can relate to it to motor racing, because I did that at a very high level for an extended period of time. And it isn't just your skill, it's your ability to interpret, it's your ability to understand. It's going that extra, with you, perfect example with swimming techniques, and with me with hammer throwing, and even the motor racing. It was, I don't just have to focus on me. I've got to focus on my situation. I got to focus not just on technique, but there's physics involved. There's balance involved. There's biometric. There's all these other things that if you're just going and you want to be good at it, great. Just go down the track and carve it up and you can learn how the apexes work. But if you want to really, really understand what balance is and really understand what the setup is and what the car's doing, there's just all these. That fine tuning is what takes those years and years and years of practice, and just that innate feel for whatever it is you've applied yourself to.
Absolutely. And so in the way this applies, I'll just use one analogy on the way it applies to security. I'm teaching the CVCISO class, right? This one class that I just created out of the blue because I get, what do you call that when you're almost suicidal, but not really? I'm like that, like, oh, well, I can do that. And then you're like, what the fuck did I just do? So anyway, I'm teaching the CVCISO class, and it's been so awesome for me because as I'm going through it, I recognize the things that I've practiced all these years that I've taken for granted, because now I've got to teach it to somebody else who has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I'm teaching, like today I taught, how do you build an information security roadmap? That's 1, measurable. It's 2, objective. It's 3, it holds me accountable and the client accountable. It's all these things. And so I've always kind of taken it for granted. But then as I was going step by step, I'm like, fuck, you have to practice this. You have to do this. Because when you practice it enough times, it does become natural. Right? The biggest tell for an information security guy or gal who sucks at their job, especially a leader like a CISO, is their inability to put risk into context. And the reason why you can't put risk into context is because you haven't been here before, you haven't seen it before, you haven't practiced it before, you haven't fought this battle before. Why would I expect you to be any good at talking to a board of directors when you've never done it?
Because I was a security concierge.
Oh shit. Frosty dog.
Oh, that, okay. Beautiful.
I had to time it just right. I was waiting. I'm like,
Post it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
But but look at this. Like there's so many. That's one of the things I loved about putting my kids through sports. Is there are so many parallels. Like take football, for instance, or rugby, right? When you field a team of rugby players, everybody has to play their role.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play somebody else's role. Like if I'm a linebacker, I'm not trying to play quarterback.
Mm-mm.
No matter how bad I want to be quarterback, I'm a linebacker and I'm really good at being a linebacker. So you learn things like roles and responsibilities. How much do we miss that in information security? People don't even know what the fuck they're supposed to do. You know, I mean, we run around. So, if I had any, no, I have a lot of advice. I'm not going to say if I had any advice to give somebody, I'd give them that. But it's like, no, I got to fuck them out of it.
Well, and so at the halfway mark, I hate to be the guy that transition us to the next segment here, but
Are we talking NIST now?
so to your point, people have been desperate to be told what to do. And today
City coaches.
they got a set of instructions that is very clear on what to do.
So who's your coach?
Well, the coaches are the companies.
Yeah, easy button, easy button, easy button. Sell me your soul, sell me your soul, sell me your soul.
Microsoft,
Money,
in
give me more
Microsoft, we trust.
And Forescout and Green
Who?
Tree and
Foreskin,
Dracos,
not Forescout, Foreskin.
Pettiville.
Who is Dispel? I don't know who to. I haven't run across Dispel. That
well,
sounds
they
like
provide
it's.
secure remote access. Well, that probably because they were classified until last week, and now we can.
No, they
No.
paid they bought their way into this game.
Of course they did.
All
So
these fuckers bought their way into this game.
how to use this guy?
So where the fuck is Mandiant? Go back up there. Where's Mandiant?
At Google.
No, they got bought by Google.
They got bought by
Google
Google.
wasn't invited to the party.
Well, where the fuck's Google?
They weren't invited
They
to
weren't
the
invited.
party.
I want to what? I love Google.
Not in this. So
Where's AWS?
not invited to the party.
No, fuck, I'm going to the bathroom now. I can't take this. If there's no AWS, it's not for me. Where am I going to keep my unsecured
I'm going to
container?
put this back in the fridge, and I have to go rebandage my leg because it's.
Now you guys are abandoning me.
No,
See,
I'll
what happens.
listen. No, hey, Ryan. I'll wait till he gets back.
All right, I'll be back. I got
All right.
And if I pee my pants,
No,
then
you don't. No, it's fine. I can,
No,
I
if
can
it-
carry
if that
us through the.
if that happens, I want you to know something. I made this choice.
Yeah, well, I get that, but no.
I don't want you to carry this weight.
You only have one of the thingies, so you should go and do
I
your
have a thingy?
business. Yes.
Oh, it's called a kidney, I believe.
Okay, great. You only got one of them. You should go and.
See, I'm going to write a biography at some point because there's so many things about me that people don't realize. Like I'm a cancer survivor, 2-time state champion. I've hit 2 deer on motorcycles.
I'm telling you.
I started a CISP mentor program where you're now a participant. We're going to train
I'm back.
this year.
You go peak, and then when you're back, I'm going to go upstairs and get bandaged. But now, for the minute, I'm going to go block my leg.
Are you going to get like gangrene or some shit?
It's actually kind of cool. It's you know
No,
how.
gangrene- Cool.
No, that isn't cool. But
Can you
it's
smell it?
good question. We won't go there. But
Smells like cheese.
it's. Would you like to finish? The red stuff has now started to seep in both directions. So, needless to say, it got cleaned up, scrubbed out, packed full of crap, and covered.
Yeah, I've had some serious like infections before too because I don't like doctors.
Yeah, well, this is me neither, but this is definitely one where hopefully.
How'd you get this?
Yes.
Excellent. Keep doing it. No, don't stop
Keep
doing
not
it.
doing it. Yeah, exactly.
I'll be right back.
You
You guys
go
talk
back.
amongst yourselves. Enjoy your company bond or something, will you?
Yes. So I'm highlighting a key
Okay.
statement in this document for when we get back. I'll put it in the chat so that you can.
So here's my question. Okay, because I didn't see. I mean, where did this come?
It came out as part of the Homeland presidential directives.
This did. So this is
Yes, this is fully backed by legislation and national security. So I have a feeling when I yelled at everybody last week, I said, damn it, step up and mandate this shit. I'm fearful, Chris. I'm fearful because it came on the piggyback of presidential homeland directives with a recently passed update to FISMA. Have you seen the new securing whatever the hell it is? Cybersecurity
industrial control stuff or critical infrastructure?
Which
No.
now brought all the so there's a new law that took effect immediately. There's new homeland directives, strengthening America's cybersecurity, I think is something like that. I don't know.
I knew there was some stuff.
I know it's it's the House or Senate Bill something 606 or something like that. I'll find it. See, you can do this job every day, and if you get exposed to enough information, it all just starts to bleed.
Oh, it totally bleeds one into another. I mean, that's part of the problem.
Well, and how do you keep it straight? And trying to read the actual legislation so that you
that's the problem. You got to rely on somebody else. You have to rely on somebody else to be able to provide.
Then I can't. No,
I need my concierge. I need my security concierge.
And that's. Although that was really cute. If they showed up looking like that, I might, I'd be like, hey, let me pet you behind your ears.
Is it good that my legs are leaking?
No, that's not a good thing.
Okay,
I am very concerned for you both at this point. You've been a rough couple of weeks for all of us, and you guys seem to be falling apart the fastest. Not that I'm too far behind you. I went to the doctor today, and he's like, "Ooh, yeah, we're gonna book you a few extra appointments. That nerve thing still going on?" Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get this sorted out. I think if I keep it covered and clotted up with crap, it got a good wash and a good scrub. It got deep? Yeah, it's pretty deep. But I duct taped to get. We'll just leave it like that. And then I took it off, and then I cleaned it out, and then I put stuff in it, and then it went red, and I'm like, I'll deal with it. And then it went redder, and then the red starts to spread. And you know how it looks like it's got little veins coming off of the redness. So now I've cleaned it up and packed it. So it'll be fine. And if it's not, then I'll deal with it. Yeah, that and the skin stuff on the arms is starting to flare up. So I gotta go get that looked at before I get yelled at again.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it is.
Fix that. See, that's part of that whole self-care thing that we preach,
Yeah, dentist. Oh, I did go to the opticians. I went
to the eyeball peoples.
I went to the eyeball peoples yesterday. I got my eyeballs looked at, which was good. I got 2 new pairs of glasses on that were ordered, and they will be on their way. They're actually totally cool glasses. And I'll spoil a surprise to some degree. I have a blue pair of glasses for when I'm feeling civilized and friendly, and I have a red pair of glasses for when, if you approach me, I'm going to knife you. Nah. So at least now people have an early warning system.
I mean, I like this.
See, it's a good thing.
I thought you were going to say you got the blue light glasses.
No. I got these are my work glasses. These are the yellow. If you can't really see them well, you can see a little bit of the tint. They're yellowish. You can see a little bit of the tint, kind of, but they're yellow. They're actually really. I'm actually really happy with them. I like them a lot.
Nice. Yeah. So let me get to the woo-woo. There we go.
What the hell are you sending me?
I'm sending you the things. These are the things, my friend. So there's now a 72-hour mandated reporting for any suspected event, 24-hour mandatory reporting on ransom payments, and covered entities are anyone or anything that services or is deemed part of the critical infrastructure ecosystem.
It's like everybody. I mean, we lost toilet roll 2 years ago, and the world went to lunacy. So are we saying that toilet roll is part of the critical?
And CISA now takes all the calls. You have to report to Homeland.
I know. I still have my soft spot. Hopefully Jen's coming out to Cyber Week over in Israel.
Oh, good. You guys spend some time with her and
Yeah, I was trying to kidnap her for something this weekend.
I was hanging out with Bill in Wisconsin. He's the regional director.
Yeah.
And Dan Honore. We're gonna
Yeah.
do so we're gonna sponsor Infraguard. We're gonna do SuperCon this year.
No, not Infraguard.
Yeah. Nope. We're gonna come back as a sponsor.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. Oh well, it is what it is. There's some good people in there. There's some fucking Muppets in there, but there's some good people in there.
Well, so as you wrap your head around this thing, now what I'm concerned about is the directives are good, and the directives don't require you to purchase or use the products they reference. However, when they release the document and the document says, if you use these things, you can prevent these things, and here's the steps to configure these tools, it gets a little.
Did they use the word prevent, or is that
I put it in the chat. Ultimately, manufacturing organizations that rely on ICS can use the example solutions described in this guide to safeguard their information.
Safeguard is not the word.
Destructive malware, insider threats, unauthorized software, unauthorized remote access. And I know it's a safeguard, but the average human is going to read that when they're writing their news story. And that'll get paraphrased into protect, which is what the business leader will see and interpret, yell at the IT guy, go implement the thingy because they said we had to. The guy goes, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Oh, look, it tells me who to buy from and how to set the settings. I think I'll just follow that. And that's the part that scares me about this. Oh, and the law took effect like now, like it's not, there's no, grandfather period.
I may or may not be feeding my dog Cheez-Its.
You will have a gassy dog. That's double check Cheez-Its. Do they have garlic in them?
She seems to be fine. I don't want to talk about that right now.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't have the box. I just took the bag because real people who eat Cheez-Its the right way, take the bag out of the box.
I'm pretty sure Cheez-Its actually have I'm pretty sure they have let's have a look. No, you might be right. Vegetable oil, they got flour, chain of canola, kind of cheese with skim milk. Some of that stuff they chuck garlic powder and onion in, which obviously is not good for wolf mutts.
Violet, you want another one? Look, there's Violet. Here.
Why can't I ask one of your Cheez-Its? I want one of your Cheez-Its. Give me them Cheez-Its.
There's hardly anything more fun than watching a dog eat chips, Cheez-Its, and apples. Because they got.
Yeah, I think you're in good shape. Okay, you're okay. Cheez-Its are good. I was never too sure. Some of that stuff has got all sorts of weird shit in it that just ain't good for dogs.
Otherwise, you just swallow shit. You don't ever chew. But when you chew these, it's awesome.
You should. Have you had a dog with jowls, like serious jowls, before? And and they spend a couple of minutes just trying to get it from like one side to the and it ends up on the damn carpet no matter what half the time. Yeah.
So here was I was as I was getting Cheez-Its and peeing and whatever, I thought to myself, things that make us great. And I want to issue a challenge. I really want to issue a challenge to anybody who's listening, anybody who ever does listen to this. And the challenge is this: if any one of us, me, you, Ryan, ever give you shitty security advice, ever, call us out on it. Call us out publicly. Yep. Because you can't do the same thing with these companies that we're talking about. It's nothing personal. I don't have anything personal against, what do we call them? Hot dogs, cold dogs, whatever the fuck they are.
Ice pops.
I have nothing personal against any of these organizations, but what I want you to ask yourself, and what everybody should always ask yourself, is: has this organization ever given me shitty security advice? That's number one. The second part of this challenge is: have you ever given me? We will never give you advice that's in our best interests over yours. I will always give you information security advice that's in your best interest above mine.
Yeah.
And I'll give you example after example after example. free CISSP mentor program, free policies, free this, free that. I don't want anything in fucking return. I don't even make you give me your email address because I don't give two shits. What I want you to do is I want you to focus on yourself, right? And so that's a challenge that I think if you want to know if you're great, why not set the example for others? So the things that make us great are, one, we're credible, we're trustworthy, and we're likable to people who are on the right side of this game. You know what I mean?
Greatest
So-
compliment I ever got was I attended one of your sessions and it took me 2 years to work through the work you created.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm not sorry because their program was better off for it. Their users were safer because of it.
Right.
But you know, nobody does that. Nobody gives away the consulting. It's all, hey, do you have these problems? And I'll throw some graphics at you and why don't you call me and I'll give you answers. I'm like, here, this deck is nothing but bullet points. Enjoy. Just start working through the list.
Damn thing. I just did that out east and other places last week and week before. Was somebody hit me up and they said, hey, can we have a copy of the data points? You know, we didn't get everything off of where we shared it to. I'm like, yeah. They're like, what do you? I'm like, just take the damn stuff, run with it, use it,
right?
Please, you know, like seriously, if you use it, there is one less person that's going to be on the bottom rung of the ladder. That's all I care about.
But we should all feel comfortable calling each other out if either one of those things is untrue. Number one, I give you shitty security advice, right? Because that's usually an indication that, you know, I just don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. You know, I got an ego, so I'm not going to say I don't know. I'm just, you know, I'll make something up. So number one, if anybody gives you information security advice that is bad, and you may not find out that it's bad until it's too late, but that's another thing. And the second thing is, if the advice comes from, if it's not in your best interest above their own best interests, because at the end of the day, this whole fucking industry is a service industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a product industry. It's not a money industry. It's a service industry. We're here to serve. Right. And so, you know, I guess that just dawned on me while I was down, you know, eating Cheez-Its and giving this dog Cheez-Its. I was like, man, I want to issue that challenge because number one, I don't think I ever fucking do it. I don't think I ever give advice that is in my best interest above yours. And number two, if I do, please fucking call me out so I can change my ways because I'm fucking wrong.
And the thing is, so I'll give a slight caveat on that one. There are so many things in our industry to try to keep track of that that some things I thought were correct today might not necessarily be tomorrow based off of maybe something that's changed.
But the one thing that's always correct is the basics.
You mean this one where you have to have an inventory to have visibility? Visibility gives you scope, and scope lets you plan, and planning lets you protect, and protecting keeps shit available. You mean this simple model that we still haven't done?
Fucking figure out. Yeah, inventory. I mean,
I don't know. This was my attempt to make this as easy as I possibly could, as simple as I could.
Yeah.
Ryan, can you please speak English?
I'm trying. So if you know what you have in your inventory, you now start to gain visibility. Visibility gives you scope.
Oh, wait. So you can't protect what you don't know you have?
You can't protect what you don't know you have. And you can't scope what you can't see. And you can't plan for what you can't scope.
Stop logicking.
And if you don't plan, I don't know what you're fucking protecting, because trying to protect it without a plan is foolhardy.
Brian, this is going to be work. I'm going to have to earn my paycheck. I don't want to earn my paycheck. Stop it. Where's my easy button? Can't I just buy Tenable?
Apparently you can. Tenable will, what was it? Substantially protect. It wasn't, the protect wasn't used in there. It was safeguard or so. What the hell word did they use?
Well, they use the words they have to use because the lawyer said they couldn't say. but the problem is no one's going to actually read this thing. So it's going to get distilled down by a couple of key people who are incentivized to highlight the, go with this over that.
We should look right now. I'm going to look right now on Tenable's website to see if they've already, if marketing's already grabbed a hold of this. They have.
I bet they have, yeah.
They're like, if you want to be secure according to the president of the United States.
All right, we need to check out some of those folks. Who do we drag? We also go for bid. I actually have some time for him. I just don't. I do wish.
Tenable's got a lot of dot stuff. .ep, .io, .cs, .id, .io, .sc, .ot. This is what I'm talking about, man. When you stay focused, Tenable, Nessus. I mean, Tenable is like, I love Tenable for vulnerability scanning. That's it. I don't use it for anything else. I don't fucking understand the rest of it. That's it. They're good at that. They've always been good at that. This other stuff, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. Sorry. I mean, call it the way you see it, man. And I'd love to see more of us in this industry because this will make us collectively more great. Call out the bullshit. It's just bullshit. I'm sorry. You may not like me. You may not want to hire me. That's fine. But there are people who will want to hire me because they appreciate the truth. They understand the value of truth. And isn't that why we're here?
Sorry, I'm on Dragos's site. We're just gonna leave it at that.
Oh fuck! Don't get me going on that. Damn it!
I'm good. I don't go to the website. We'll just leave it at that.
Really? They already gone there, huh?
No, they haven't gone. Not quite.
I heard
they're inviting everybody to a webinar and various other things.
I heard that there's a stud.
Stud muffin. That's right.
And
there is a.
And I asked, I go, well, tell me about the stud, man, because I didn't know the name. And they're like, well, he's advised 3 presidential administrations. I'm like, ask your stud if security's gotten better
because of it
over the 3 presidential administrations, because it hasn't. So what the fuck kind of advice are we given?
Buy this product. Look, see, if you want to protect the host from malware infection via USB, you could read and figure out where in the NIST controls protect DS6 is and what's inside that, and the cross-reference that it's not linked to something else that you have to go look up. You could do that, all 9,000 pages worth of shit you got to go through, or you could do this. Now, here's the fun part.
Great.
The 2 assumptions
that this doesn't work on Linux or my Mac.
And the assumption is the user does not have administrative privileges on the target machine.
Oh, sure. And doesn't have physical access. Where's that machine? I don't fucking know.
Right. Well, we're sure they don't have physical access. They don't know where the fucking thing is.
Right. It's in the cloud. Don't worry about it. And then you can use Azure to secure it. What?
So that's my worry, though, is that when this gets read as a recipe card, because it is wrote that way.
Well, and that's what people will do. People just, it's human nature to not.
Yeah.
That's why, you see so many fucking things right now about the false, what do they call it? Fake news. Is that what people say? Fake news.
Misinformation. Right?
Well, because nobody reads past the fucking headline.
I just saw this. I sent you guys the screenshots. NPR of all people. 13-year-old boy drives car or truck and kills all these people. And you read the story and it says officials have not yet concluded who is driving what vehicle.
Well, dude, over and over and over and over and over again, right? Because this is how they get away with it, right? If I can write some sensational headline, which clickbait, it's all clickbait. Why would it be clickbait? Because I make money. Who do I make money from? The advertisers. Okay. I mean, put it all together and there may be truth in the actual article, but you never fucking read the article.
Right.
read the fucking article. Stop taking shortcuts.
It's okay. Dispel has got us all sorted. They offer zero trust remote access.
Fuck yeah.
fantastic.
Zero trust, baby. I got me some of
Yeah.
that.
Woo!
I don't trust nobody. Who the fuck are you?
Industry's
Hanging up.
fastest remote access system that exceeds cybersecurity standards. I do want to point out cybersecurity
does?
What
standards.
standard? What
Whose
standard would we
standards?
be talking about?
Standard.
Whose standard?
What standard?
I mean, I suppose it's HIPAA compliant too, right?
I haven't got the.
Yeah, of course it is.
I mean, it's giving all their client base. I mean, apparently, I mean, they've got so many fucking. I mean, I know.
Okay, so let's be honest. If I was a bad man, and I'm not, but if I was, cool. Well, I now know who I'm gonna go after.
Oh, this is fantastic. I mean, they've
Thanks
basically.
for giving me the recipe card. That
They
yep.
have Las Vegas Water District, Connecticut, Masmo, Bank, Water Solutions, BRSA, Strepsil, Vanish, Woolies, Reckitt.
If there aren't invisible processes, I'm not interested.
I'm actually going to look for that, a unified platform that succeeds standards.
Oh yeah, well, good. I'm up, man. I just bought it. I didn't realize I bought it.
That sucks. I hate this shit. So I hate our.
And it comes with a complimentary Bitcoin miner. So don't worry.
Free?
Well, yes, absolutely. Free to you. Just need a little bit of your CPU cycle and some power.
I love it.
Actually,
love it.
GPU if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, it's the
Hang on
same.
your video card.
GPU.
GP me or GPU? GP who?
GPU. Yeah, GPU, pal. GPU.
Fuck, I always get GP'd. What the fuck is me?
So I have to ask a question. What if your ITAD and e-waste? What the hell's ITAD? Advanced solutions that create accountability, security, and environmental leadership I can live with. I'm actually good with that. What
You know, the
hell?
funniest fucking thing about our industry is this fucking language we speak. It's like,
Every organization has ITAD and e-waste nightmare. So fuck you. Get on with your ITAD nightmare. What the hell's ITAD?
I think it has something to do with prostate, doesn't it?
ITAD mapping.
iTab.
ITAD. ITAD. I actually don't know what ITAD means. All right. So I'm going to ask. Don't give an answer.
Probably
I'm gonna
prostate.
Anybody who's listening in on this one, if they know what ITAD is without Googling it or looking it up or asking Siri or Alexa what's ITAD, put it in there. And if nobody has a clue, I have no clue what the hell ITAD is.
It's internet, tits, ass, and dick.
So apparently we've all got the same problem. Actually, no, it's your ITAD and e-waste. So it's
Well, eventually I'm gonna have to take
browser
a shit.
history.
I mean,
I don't have e-waste. I have a junk drawer full of old cell phones.
Well, eventually I'm gonna have to take a shit. I just ate a whole bunch of Cheez-Its.
I'm
That's it.
saving
You
it
know
for
what
the
iTab
precious
was.
metals.
What in the hell is ITAD? Already Googled it. All right, Jack, tell us what the hell it is, because I can't find it on their website.
It's the dumbest shit. I had to Google it. It is the dumbest shit. It's just another unnecessary acronym.
I get a free ITAD roadmap.
God
What
damn.
the
it.
No, we had a term. We had a term for this in the past. We did. It was called garbage, and what you did with it was threw it out.
So ITAD is IT asset disposition.
Here we go being fucking smart again. How many people use disposition in their normal language when talking about the disposal of something? Disposal is even a bit of a
Well-
fancy word for the common man and
Well, that's what we
ladies
always
and
called it. Asset
Jason.
disposal.
everyone's.
Asset disposal, like you said, was enough fucking work. Now,
That was as techie as we needed to get. No. That was.
can you just
disposition.
imagine doing an information security
Well,
risk
because
assessment?
You see,
Tell me
Evan,
about your ITAD practices, and they'd be like, "What?" And they'd be like, "You suck."
What?
and I mean, at this point, it should be It should be IT asset deposition. That's what it should be.
No shit. What? Seriously? What the hell is it again? What?
It's IT asset disposition. So technically,
Hey,
you don't have
just a
to throw it
reminder-
away because you
Just
might
a
be,
reminder, we're great. We're
Right.
great, you guys. Fuck
and you
me.
can get certified in it.
I don't get it.
You can get ISO certified in it.
Fucking A.
How to throw shit away properly?
Is increasing the importance of technology governance teams, including ITAM. Here's a new fun one. IT asset management. We've had ITAM.
We've always had like data handling standards and all that shit and asset handling stuff.
Yep. So recent high-profile court cases have shown the considerable impact breaches of ITAD-related legislation can lead to, including fines, class action lawsuits, and negative reputational impact.
So here, this is 100% proof. It's proof that we make money out of confusing the people we serve, which is not, that's 100% self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was serving them, we would use a language that they fucking understood.
No, because if we do that, they'll understand how full of shit all this is.
That's what I'm saying.
For $15, you can solve the problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So call this shit out the way we're doing it. And we need more people who are willing to do this.
Sorry, go on.
Why wouldn't the people do this? Why wouldn't people call people out? Because they're afraid. Because they're, oh my God, what will happen? Will I destroy my fucking career? You know, I'm coming to the end of my career where I don't give two fucking shits. I'm going to call it the way I see it. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. And so the sad fucking thing about this is we've got this shit that's in a presidential fucking directive, that's in an NIST document. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hang on. ITAD locations: Hamilton, London, Toronto, and Ottawa. Y'all aren't in fucking America land.
Ottawa, they're French Canadians. Fuck them.
Well, here's where they ship their gear. So after you ITAD it, I'll eBay it.
I could buy some of that. What is that?
Because that's used. So you got to look. You can't look for refurb. You need that used so the hard drive is intact and unencrypted.
All right, but hang on. Whose is that?
This is just a rando used laptop on eBay. One of the best places to get data. Why hack?
I believe we've been doing that for years, going after fucking home. All right,
why hack when you can eBay?
This is
just saying.
Shit, yeah, this is making my head.
Okay, and that's the whole point. So that now that your head's spinning, if you want to not feel sick to your stomach, what you want to do is buy these products that we highlighted for you with instructions on how to configure them. And those instructions can be trusted because they're from us.
It's the government. You can trust the government. Come on.
For sure.
NIST brought to you by the.
You know, inflation's not really a thing.
I mean, dude, they literally show you screenshots. Like, check this out. Here's how to configure ConsoleWorks password rules.
Okay, so here. Not only do they fucking name a product by name, but they also wrote the fucking manual for you.
That is correct.
We pay for that shit. We pay for people to write manuals. Here, the government's doing it for you.
Okay, wait. I'm going to take a bet right now that at least 2% of those that follow these directions will use the user accounts exactly as they appear in the document.
It's going in our scripts. You know, it's going in the breach scripts. It's going to be like,
well, I know it. And you know it.
Well, and let's look at the silver lining. There is a silver lining. The people who we serve, the underserved markets, don't read this shit. Thank God.
Yep.
Thank God, because they don't have the resources to be wasting on bullshit like this. They are ripe for the fundamentals, the basics.
But here's the challenge, and we're going to get ahead of it. I got a plan for this already. I've been thinking about it all day. The challenge is with the new law, they don't have a choice. If they're anywhere in the ecosystem, everybody's got to go FedRAMP now. Everybody's got to achieve.
But the law doesn't specifically say you have to use these products. The law says here are examples of how you could comply.
No, the law says you have to use NIST you have to use the recommendations of the director of CISA, who is recommending through the presidential order that you adhere to this document. which
but that
in this document, it strongly
Right.
indicates.
Right, but it does, I can comply without
Yes,
buying any of this bullshit.
that is correct.
And that's
But
what
if
people need to realize, especially our underserved markets. There are many ways. And that's one of the things, I've been teaching in the CVCISO class, which is what I've been living and breathing for the last fucking a million years, it seems like, is there are multiple ways to do this. Information security is it never will be, and ever a one size fits all.
Right.
You will never find the same solution that'll work the same in your environment that works in another environment, because the fucking environments are different.
according to this,
You've got different technologies, you've got different people, you've got different physical locations, different fucking everything. So why would I expect the thing that's working for this guy over here to work in my environment when I haven't at least vetted out the differences between the two fucking environments? So I guess, just use some fucking discernment. Don't fall for the fucking bullshit, which is, and on the positive side, let's go to the positive side. I work with states, right? And the one thing I'm hearing over and over again with states is we don't want to buy any more products. We want solutions, which is essentially tell us how to fix the problems we have without buying products or without buying additional products. Help us use the shit we have already, which is like, praise God. That is exactly what you should be doing right now.
I
So
agree.
shout out to all those state CISOs who are taking that approach.
Mhm.
Shout out to all those, local governments who are like, I just want to do the right thing. I don't want to buy more shit. I want to solve problems. Because as long as you stay focused on the problem that you're trying to solve, you will solve the problem probably in the most efficient way. Right? So this is so fundamental, right? The basics again. Go back to fucking practice again.
Now, one of the things about it I do like, because I do see some positive in this, right? Well, for those
Is it
not
going to
taking-
improve my sex life?
it might. I liked how they consolidated and weaved all the various bits and pieces of attempts at legislation together under an umbrella now. So we've got, the High Performance Computing Act, the Internet of Things Cybersecurity Improvement Act, the National Defense Authorization Act for 2013 that had a bunch of fun stuff in it, the Defense Act for 2011 that had stuff in it, right? The e-government, they've at least tried to arch over this and bring some degree of consistency to the
I don't know, man. It's
hodgepodge.
the same fucking shit. Like,
I'm
I'm so
trying to
tired-
find a positive.
I know, man, but I'm so tired of more and more and more
Oh,
shit.
I know it.
Here's
Well-
the fucking simple, basic fucking shit of it, right? Define what it is you're trying to do. First of all, define who's going to be responsible for what. Asset inventory, incident response. I mean, basic fundamental shit. I don't need ISO for that. I don't need NIST anything for that.
But they
I
did
need
put,
I need some brains.
they did put a little accountability in. There's a smidgen of accountability that's gone in.
I don't
So
fuck it. I don't
just a
believe it.
smidgen.
Okay. Here, now take a step back. You
Okay.
just used the word accountability in
Yep.
reference to the fucking government. Are you kidding me?
I did.
I ain't buying
I
that.
said a smidge, a scotch, a
I ain't buying
pinch.
it. I ain't
Well,
buying
you
it.
gotta have 100% to actually be accountable.
Plus, you put Kevin Poulsen in there. Not
You use
buying-
all the grain. The beach is made of many grains of sand, and you don't have a beach until you have lots of grains of sand. But maybe a grain of sand is better than nothing. I don't know.
No, it's bullshit. All of it.
this is bullshit.
But what was that? I just caught that. What were you showing?
That was the image. That was just bullshit. I'm just gonna leave it at
Oh,
that.
bullshit. 100% bullshit.
I'm
There's
not gonna
nothing-
go back and watch.
I haven't
The-
I haven't even read this
Alright.
thing yet. And
You want me
just
to
what you
put it
told
back
me.
up on the screen?
yeah, well, just or pop a link or something.
I'll put a link in.
I was busy digging through terrible legislation so I can point out pieces of it to you guys.
Because here's the thing. Legislation is either all good or it's all shit. Because it's law.
All right.
right? You don't get to pick and choose what parts are good and what parts are bad. It's either good or it's bad. It's binary. There's a good law or a bad law, right? You can't say, well, parts of it, because they expect to enforce all of it. So, you know,
Okay, first off, this list can't even be accurate because Kevin Mitnick is not number one.
I love.
So there's
Hey.
absolutely no way.
For the record, number one fanboy. What up, Kevin? I love
Oh God. Just
Just shut the fuck up. I just lost a friend. For some reason, Chris just unfriended me on Twitter.
you think?
Yeah, because I said I like Kevin Mitnick.
I'm broken. I swear this whole fucking NIST sponsored by it
And for
feels
the
like
record,
NASCAR.
I'm
It's
not a-
NASCAR. I'm
Okay.
going to it's
It is.
NASCAR.
Oh, and did you see that Clown Strike has a race car now? They're getting into they're using all their money to buy a really nice. You haven't seen the Mercedes?
No,
The
it's on
Clown Strike
fucking
Mercedes?
No, I know. Hey, I know it's the Formula One thing. It pisses me off. I like Mercedes Formula One, but the motherfuckers are no, just don't even get me started on
All
that.
right. Well, I was about to be shocked. Like you of all people.
No, I don't even. I know.
Yeah, I got a shout out real quick
From?
on this.
I'm scared to ask.
Somebody from CrowdStrike, believe it or not. The guy's name is Dan Williams. So Dan Williams reached out to me this week, and let me just see what he does. I'm trying to find. I don't mind calling people out for good shit either. System engineer, been there for 3 years, 5 months, but he's got like 30 years of security experience. Works at CrowdStrike right now. Reached out to me to give me kudos on the CISP mentor program, and so, you know, it was a private message, and so I was like, "Oh, CrowdStrike, I'm interested in talking about this." So I responded to him, and we've had this conversation. Good fucking guy, but I think what the point is, you have CrowdStrike, right? Which we know what CrowdStrike exists for. We know what they do. Here's a guy that works for CrowdStrike that I think, you know, based on the conversation I've been having with him, is great. He really is. He's amazing. Now I don't know.
Your employer doesn't define who you are as a person.
Right. So I want to point that out as well, because you can be great and not recognize that you're actually working for a company that's evil.
Or you can recognize that and just be in a situation and circumstance of life where that's the lesser of the negative choices you have to make. Like I want to give kudos and credit and separate the culture and approach and money motivatedness that the VC poison brings, and everybody that takes that money suffers from it.
Right.
Just remember that first hit's free and it feels so good because your dream's about to come true until it's time to get returns on that investment. So caution all you startups and everybody else, you know, build it right. You might not need to take too much from anybody to get it to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you know, just be careful, but to separate the people, the humans, because I do think those companies are full of decent people. But if you take the average human and say, this is your livelihood, we saw it during the pandemic. There were people that were forced to go against well-established practices of their industry for many, many a year, because to do otherwise would have resulted in an impact to their livelihood. And I wonder how much of the percentage, half, maybe more, maybe less, do the shit knowing that it's not the best, that it's not right, but weighing that against. So it's the I forget the correct term for this, but it's a type of ethics where you put yourself first. And therefore that decision can be rationalized and made.
Does that have anything to do with boobs?
No, but you could basically say it's an ethical decision. Was it ethics of care, I think is what it's called. But you basically rationalize and say, well, even though this might harm somebody else, it's protecting my sphere of care, and therefore it is ethically okay for me to do this.
Right. Well, we have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Right.
You know, and in that, I'm going to protect my family, myself. Self-preservation is pretty high up there over
For most.
you. right?
But
It takes a really unique individual who's willing to take the risk of, I'm going to put
There-
you in,
there
you
are
know,
companies
if you want to,
and-
if you want to take every single fucking thing that I own, would I still want to serve you? Some people can say yes, some people can say no, but I think few can actually do it. But to this person that I met from CrowdStrike, I like him. I have, I don't know him well enough, and I'll reserve judgment, final judgment for a while. But one of the things
I know him. I know
that
him.
dawned on me when
Yeah.
I first saw CrowdStrike, I was like, this first impression was like, fuck, I'm gonna tear you a new one. And then we started talking, like, man, I think this guy is a really fucking good guy. He just happens to work for an organization that I despise.
Yeah.
So I just warn people against, like, you meet somebody from one of these companies, and you're like, don't rush to judgment. Get to know the individual.
Mhm.
They might be great. So just because the organization is, compromising their values, they're taking advantage of others within the industry. Don't think that everybody who works there is doing the same thing.
It's tough to do that sometimes though, because all right, let me play devil's advocate for a minute. I've walked away from companies that are of that ilk, and it takes a lot to do that, and it does take it hurts and it hits, but you do it for the right reason. So maybe the other way of doing it is you stay there and you actively look for something in the right environment if you're not going to get tarred with the bad brush at the same time. So I'd argue that there are good organizations out there, and that if more people made the move to those organizations, those that are not ethical or maybe their practices are definitely questionable wouldn't be able to not only hire or retain talent, they would have a dearth of it and they wouldn't succeed. So, if we really want to do it right, we're going to look around our own environment and go, not only are we happy where we are, but is the organization we're working for have a level of ethics? And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, get the fuck out of it. There's plenty of work out there at the moment.
Well, and that's the risk. That's the risk, right? I mean, it's comfortable. It's comfortable to collect a really nice paycheck for a company that just fucks everybody over.
But you can get as good at, if not equal, if not close enough to that paycheck from. I mean, I went through it. I'm going through it now. There's a bunch of companies I'm having some very in-depth conversations with, and there's a couple I stepped well away from because I'm like, no, they approached and I'm like, no, can't do it.
Right.
Now.
But I think the thing is, we talked a couple of weeks ago about situational awareness, and I think it's the same thing with the position you work in, right? We spend so much time at work. So take a step back and ask yourself, why?
Yeah.
Why does this organization exist? Why am I here? Am I in alignment with the mission of this organization? Do I think that this organization is taking advantage of people? And you can tell that. You may not even know that, but that might be an opportunity for your own education.
It's easy enough. I mean, you can go do Intel Gab and you can go look at.
Well, exactly, but it would take some education to do that.
Peers around you. Hell, you put a post out saying, "Hey, look, I'm intrigued in a couple of companies." Yeah, I mean, there's ways of doing it to garner enough relevant information.
I fixed it.
You can always
Made it
reach
more
out.
honest.
We can always reach out to somebody you trust too, right? I love it. I love it. Post that shit, or send it to me and I'll post it.
That's awesome,
baby.
I think we should all ask ourselves on a regular basis. It's just part of like keeping yourself in check.
Yeah.
Am I on the path or am I not on the path? Am I still serving, people's best interest? Because I'm proof, man. I mean, I'm so blessed. I am proof that if you focus on the mission, you will make money.
Mm-hmm.
I have money. You know what I mean? I just bought a fucking like $1.5 million house in Puerto Vallarta. But I didn't take advantage of a single person along the way. None.
Yeah.
Zero.
Exactly.
I will sleep well every single night knowing I didn't sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the point isn't what I got. The point isn't how much money I got. None of that shit fucking matters. What matters is I stayed true to the mission. The mission is to fix this fucking broken industry. And if you want to break that down, well, it's what's broken. And you can read the fucking book if you want, but that's the point. And I will stay focused on that until the day I die. I will die on this hill. I want to die on this hill. This is the purpose for my life. It's to serve other people. And yes, I make money. I get paid for it. The problem is when you focus on the money, you will not serve the mission.
Right.
Focus on the mission, you will make money.
Mhm.
Focus on the money, you will not make the mission. It's that simple. And so, you know, I've seen so many organizations, you know, in the 30 years I've been in this industry, who started out with the right reason. Even the companies we talked about tonight.
Yeah.
They
I think
started
most
out-
origins are good.
Exactly, because it's what usually happens is it's a founder who saw a need and said, I can serve that need. So I'm gonna start a company. I'm gonna serve that need. And then, you know, you start making money because I've been through it myself. I still go through it. It's very tempting to like, well, I could sell FR Secure today. I don't know, $30 million.
Oh, I think more than that.
Right, but that's a good chunk of change, right? Why not do it? I mean, if I'm in this for the money, I wouldn't question that. But I don't give two fucks about the money. What I care about is people. And I know that there are many, many people in our industry who are in this for the same game.
Mhm.
And I was clear when we started FR Secure back in 2008, there was a company that was very ingrained in this market. There was a company called, what was it? Assurity River. I don't know if you remember Assurity River back in the day, but they were pretty ingrained in this market. And I told Kevin, you know, my partner, we're going to put these fuckers out of business. He's like, why? I go, because they're not serving the best interest of the people they're serving. We are going to do that always. And sure enough, you know, Assurity River's out of business. They were actually acquired by Whitfleet. But Whitfleet doesn't know what the fuck they're doing either. So not mentioning any names, but Whitfleet doesn't know what the fuck they're doing either. But I get it. They're an accounting firm, right? I mean, you expect accounting firms to do good at accounting. I mean, why would I be good at security? It's a different thing. But I guess the point is stay focused on the mission. You will get rewarded for it. Trust me.
I got a crazy idea. Build quality product that solves problems and start selling solutions that solve problems instead of hype. And
Just
hype.
always focus on the problem, right? I mean, that's what I get paid to do. I solve problems.
Money is a reward for solving problems.
I mean, you've seen what I've done in the last 2 months. I mean, I've almost died. Maybe I did die and I came back to life. Maybe Violet, do you know fucking
Well, you've been busy heads
Do you know
down. I've
CPR?
been lining up some bowling pins.
Violet's looking at me. Do you know CPR? Swear to God, you saved my life, good dog. I love you. Anyway, but there was a problem. And I knew that this problem existed for a long time. vCISO, right? What's a vCISO? What the fuck do they do? Well, I don't know. Depends on who you talk to. How do I know if I'm getting value? Well, it depends on who you fucking talk to. Probably won't. And so it came to this point where it's like, fuck it, I'm tired of it. I'm going to solve the fucking problem. And so we start the CVCISO program. Same thing with the CISSP mentor program. And I'm not saying this shit to brag. Fuck bragging. I don't want any fucking credit for it. What I'm saying is these are examples that you can take yourself. If you see a problem, solve the fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about what you're going to get in return for it. You will get something in return for it. Just solve the fucking problem. And we need more of that. right? We talk about asset management. Well, that's a problem. We bitch about that. We bitch about that for 30 fucking years. Then solve the fucking problem. How do I
Working
do
on
it?
it.
I know you and I both are. I get it.
Working on it.
But the first problem that I'm still working on, it's been forever, is how do we get us to speak the same fucking language? When I
I'd
talk to a
like to
board of
think we
directors,
start
I talk to a
with human.
CEO. Well, and so we already solved this problem, by the way. It's already been solved.
Mhm.
We had the same exact problem in the financial credit industry. How do you fucking understand risk? How do you quantify risk with personal credit? Well, we put it on a scale of 300 to 850, and we had some big, powerful people that got behind it and said, "All right, there you go." And actually FICO, who they're a bunch of fuckers too, but they sold their
Not
soul.
naming names.
They sold their soul. I'm not naming names, FICO, and fuck your cease and desist.
Ugh.
I don't think you can sue me for saying fuck your cease and desist, but fuck your cease and desist. And if you can sue me, then still fuck your cease and desist. But, so we already solved this problem. Why don't we just take it? And if it's not Security Studio, then fine. Who the fuck is it going to be?
Yeah.
I will totally align with somebody else who wants to fucking solve this problem, but they don't. They want to keep you in the dark. They want to continue to use new acronyms to sell you more shit. And so until we, kind of wake up and recognize that, and we need the people that are great in this industry with the heart that's in it for the right reasons, to get some confidence, to align with each other. You got 3 guys right here talking right now that are in this industry for the right reasons. So if you don't have the confidence, talk to Chris. That guy will tase people for you. Ryan will look pretty. Ryan will look pretty for you. I will.
Oh, wow. I hope I'm more than that. Jeez.
No, we need somebody who looks pretty, because you've seen me and Chris.
Yeah, you guys scare the
we
shit
ain't
out of
pretty.
people.
Right. And then I'll play somewhere in the middle of that. But I mean, this should be a rally for the people who want to be great in this industry. Let's rally together and let's be great in this industry. Let's serve people. We will make tons of fucking money. If that's what at the end of the day, I'm like, well, how am I going to pay for my bills? You'll retire really nicely. Trust me. I've lived it. I'm living it. You can do it too. Because just look at the market, math, right? We like math, don't we? How much of the market is actually being served with information security fundamentals today? It's got to be less. It's got to be 10% or less. So that leaves 90% of the market that's still unserved, that needs our help. As long as it's fine and can serve them, how much money do you want?
So the deal is, we gotta, and this is, you guys know I work on this every day. You see my slides, right? There are people that think I don't know tech because I try my ass off to keep it out of my conversations when I'm trying to connect with people on this. But I promise you, when my wires arrive tomorrow, I'll have my nifty little police scanner finished, right? So it's not that I don't geek. It's just I've learned that geek speak didn't move the needle with the decision maker that I need to give a shit. We're gonna do one of the show topics when I update my list is called "How to Give a Fuck," the give a fuck factor. How do you create it? Because that's what's lacking. I have the cute one for the K-12 where I talk about going from scare to care. I think security awareness, and I'm going to do a Wiser one tomorrow. I'll probably bring it up on the Wiser webinar tomorrow. Security awareness, we've achieved it. Now it's time to move to care, action, commitment. I'm aware of a ton of things I could give a flying fuck about. So how do we get the care? And honestly, I'm telling you guys, I love geek speak, but you get outside the circle of native tongue and you're 2 syllables in before they have fully checked out.
Yep.
Well, dude, and this is what I was talking about last week. I think there's a marriage between what you just said with what I was trying to communicate last week, and whether I was effective in it or not. What I learned was people have always been asking me, give me the one thing. right? And I was like, oh, there is no one thing. There is no one thing. What are you, fucking an idiot? I mean, it's holistic. You got to be blah, 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 comprehensive. What they were really asking was, give me the first thing, right? So combining that with what you're talking about, like, make it simple, for fuck's sake. And it gets harder and harder as people keep adding more and more shit. So when you look at the NIST list of shit, you're like, oh, I should buy that. No, you shouldn't fucking buy that. Why would it make any fucking sense for me to add more shit to something I already don't understand? You better fucking well understand what it is you have right now before you ever add another fucking thing to it. Because you can't secure the shit you don't have, you don't understand or don't know. Why would you add more to it? It's logically fucking insane.
So this is my attempt to reach the everyday business leader.
I don't see any boobs.
Right? It's all about you. Create, connect, right? You have new life skills to learn, not tech skills. I don't know how else to do this. I am open to anyone's suggestion. This is about your physical safety. Your actions and inactions impact others, right? And you make all the difference, right? Because accountability scares them. Empowerment confuses them. And since we seem to be very self-centric, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, well, guess what? It's actually all about you.
Dude, try it.
I'm going to.
No.
I'm going. Yeah. I'm doing it next week for HR folks and small business owners.
Let's see how it goes. And what I'd like to see is figure out some way to measure the acceptance of the message versus the deliverer of the message.
Yep.
Agreed. So if there's some way we can figure that out, because I agree, and it's very much in alignment with what I've always preached, which is accountability. Without accountability, nothing's going to change, because who the fuck gives a shit? I've got other things. I got TikTok, brother. I got, whatever the fuck I'm doing today. I ain't got time to go look at my router and configure that shit. Are you crazy? So you're preaching accountability, and I want to see how your delivery, how your message resonates.
I just keep trying. I just keep testing and trying. It's something,
right.
It's a foolhardy endeavor, but
let's figure out a way to measure your testing and trying, so that we can take other people who are testing and trying. Like, I've got my delivery. I've preached the same fucking thing a billion fucking times.
Right.
How effective has my delivery been? I don't know, honestly. So measuring these different like wavelengths, like which wavelengths are hitting with which populations. Because I do think we have to start to figure out a way to get scientific with this.
We do.
If I deliver this kind of message on this wavelength with this population, it will have an effect. Versus, talking to this other population, they require this type of delivery. Because I don't think we've done that really well, and I would like to figure that out, because that's, I think, the key to success. When you get ownership, you win.
With that, absolutely. And you and I can offline that. We're at midnight. We've all had
It started. I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
We're at the hour. We've had a hell of a week. We've got a couple more hell of weeks ahead of us. So I'm a wrap on this positive note. I am excited to see the national focus on the topic. And I think that if enough of us help shape and shepherd the conversation, because what they did drop is confusing to the majority, I think there's still a chance to get ahead of some of this, and it's not all bad, right? I'll leave you with that. Like, there is some good, practical, pragmatic advice in this. You should do it. If you are ICS, you have ICS systems, the whole separate the fucking networks, probably a good idea.
Don't buy anything.
And yeah, don't, and for God's sakes, if you don't know what you got, just start there. Please just start there. We're gonna rally some interns for you. Stay tuned. This summer, we're gonna send minions in the thousands out to go help you. Chris, before you fall asleep on us, what's your closing note?
there's some good people, there's some good thoughts, and there's some good focuses in this world. They all too often get lost, and maybe we should spend a bit more time looking at them.
Thank you, brother. Dude, that's some wisdom right there. So if you took something away from that, tonight, that's it. And you don't know where they're going to come from, right? It might be an intern who's brand new into this industry, and they have a fresh perspective. They're like, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Embrace that, right? We obviously haven't solved so many of the big fundamental problems in our industry, even with the people like me and Chris and Ryan who have 20, 30 years of experience. The one thing you know about us is we are devoted to solving this, right? To being better than we were yesterday. The sad thing is when you look at our industry, we're worse than we were yesterday. We continue to add more and more. We make things more and more complex, which continues to be our biggest enemy. So we're screwing ourselves. I love the fact that if I were in this industry, what I would be focusing on is what are the fundamentals. So first of all, if you don't know that, if you can't answer that off the top of your head, what are the fundamentals of information security? It's time to go do some research, because that's what will make you great. It really will. Because from that comes everything else. It's not like we don't understand and value the Arctic Wolves of the industry. It's not like we don't understand and value CrowdStrike. They have value, but you put it in perspective. Where does it fit in the foundation? It fits right here. It doesn't fit anywhere else, regardless of the marketing and the other shit they try to sell you. It doesn't fit anywhere else. It fits there. So, for those of us who are new in this industry, figure out the fundamentals. Align yourself with people who genuinely give a shit, who are mission driven, not money driven. For people who've been in this industry for a while, you probably have recognized some problems. It's time for you to align yourself with people like us to be bold. Get out there, call it out. Let's change direction. Being silent ain't fixing nothing, so we should all be here to fix some things. And I will back you up. I know Chris will back you up. Chris has backed me up many times. He's a man with probably the boldest shoulders, I've ever met in this industry. And Ryan's just a tenacious little fucker. He doesn't even realize what he's getting himself into. If you want to know what that looks like, go look at the video of when my car was getting stolen. That son of a bitch is hanging on the side of the truck, get run over and die. But he's just one of those tenacious little sons of bitches. But align with us. We can help. And we need the alignment if we're going to make any change, if we're going to fight this evil fucking dark shit that goes on with NIST and all the other bullshit. So I do have hope. I'm still fighting. If I had given up hope, I wouldn't be fighting anymore. I would have given up. You wouldn't see me on this fucking podcast. You wouldn't see me anywhere. So I'd be like, fuck you. I'm done. I'm going to collect garbage. I'm going to do a hot dog stand somewhere. But I'm still fighting. Chris is still fighting. He's tired. I'm tired. Ryan's still fighting. He's fucking tired. So as long as we're still fighting, come fight with us, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you